We are Anka. Stay tuned for updated real news.
Hello, Anka Daily News viewers. We're here with you with new developments shaped in the shadow of war. The events of recent days once again reveal how complex and coercive the conflicts have become. The battle on the ground is not only a front where soldiers face each other, but also an area where technological superiority, intelligence wars, and strategic moves are decisive. Especially, the latest attacks are capable of shaking the balance of the war. Russia continues to be hit both economically and militarily. In this process, the extent and effects of losses are becoming more and more palpable. The latest attack has cost the Russian army dearly. The results of this operation carried out by Ukraine may directly affect not only the balance of forces on the ground, but also future military strategies. So, what exactly happened in this attack? What significant losses did Russia suffer? How can this Ukrainian operation change the course of the war? What is the strategy behind these developments? Now we'll seek answers to these questions by analyzing the information coming from the field in detail. We'll analyze the developments the cameras do not see, details that are hidden behind the lines of official statements and that are shaped behind the scenes of the war. What impact will this heavy blow suffered by Russia have on the coming days of the war? Let's look at the developments together. Before we get to our report, though, a quick reminder. The Anka Daily News team is definitely real. None of my teammates or me are artificial intelligence. Even though AI is very advanced, it's still not as good as us. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We do read all the comments you leave on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content. Tell us in the comments what content you'd like to see on the Anka Daily News channel. And now let us begin if you're ready. Anka Daily News reports. The war between Ukraine and Russia continues fiercely on the economic front as well as on the field. Ukraine's recent drone strikes target critical infrastructure that feeds Russia's war machine. Especially oil refineries and fuel facilities are vital for the Russian army to continue its operations in the field. However, given the role these facilities play in financing the war, Kyiv regards them as legitimate targets. Most recently, an official of Ukraine's SBU security service announced that the Ilsky oil refinery and its pumping stations in the Krasnodar region in the south of the country were targeted. As a result of these attacks, which took place overnight, at least 20 large explosions occurred. According to the official, all pumping operations were suspended due to the damage caused to the facilities. According to Ukrainian intelligence sources, this facility has the capacity to produce 6.6 million tons of oil per year and directly contributes to Russia's war effort. Therefore, the attacks organized here put serious pressure on the Kremlin, not only militarily but also economically. Such attacks organized by Ukraine aim to disrupt Russia's war economy. Russian oil refineries not only provide fuel for military vehicles but also play a major role in financing the war. Although Russia's oil revenues have declined due to Western sanctions, the Kremlin continues to finance war expenditures by channeling these resources to alternative markets. However, Ukraine's aggression is disrupting this process. In February 2024, Ukrainian drones damaged a $50 million primary oil processing unit of the same refinery. After that attack, Russian authorities announced that the facility was in the process of repair. However, Ukraine aims to further damage Russia's war economy by continuing such attacks. The SBU official made it clear that these attacks will continue. According to the official, Russian oil refineries and pumping stations are completely legitimate targets for Ukraine. The reason for this is not only the disruption of the Ukrainian military's fuel supply, but also the Kremlin's dependence on oil revenues to cover its war expenses. Such attacks are considered part of Ukraine's overall military strategy. In addition to fighting directly on the ground, the Kyiv government is also targeting economic and logistical targets to weaken Russia's war capacity. Oil refineries, railway infrastructure, and military industrial complexes are among the areas that Ukraine is expected to target more frequently in the future. This Ukrainian strategy poses a major threat to Russia. The Russian military needs a constant flow of fuel to make progress on the battlefield. However, Ukraine's drone attacks are disrupting this process. In particular, the development of Ukraine's deep operation capabilities shows that Russia is not safe even in its internal regions. Moreover, these attacks are causing unrest among the Russian population. Attacks on the oil and energy sector could put the Russian economy in a difficult situation and, in the long run, lead to a decline in popular support for the Kremlin. Western sanctions have already weakened the Russian economy, and the additional pressure exerted by Ukraine could put Moscow in even more trouble. Ukraine's drone operations are an important example of the fact that war is not only won on the battlefield. While the Kyiv administration is taking steps to collapse Russia's war economy, it's also targeting Moscow's military logistics lines with these attacks. It's clear that Ukraine will continue this strategy, which means that more oil refineries and military infrastructure will be targeted in the future. It remains to be seen how Russia will respond to such attacks. Although the Kremlin has taken new steps to strengthen its air defense, Ukraine's expanding attack range and more effective use of drones make Russia's defense more difficult. It remains unclear how the war will take shape in the coming days. However, one thing is certain. Ukraine is acting with a new strategy that shows that the war can be won not only on the front line, but also in the economic sphere. We'll see how this strategy will play out in the long term. Ukraine's attacks on Russia's war economy are not only achieving short-term tactical successes, but are also complicating the Kremlin's long-term strategic calculations. The disruption of the fuel supply that Russia needs to sustain its military operations directly affects the mobility of the troops on the ground. Especially the recent increase in drone attacks may force the Moscow administration to review its defense strategies. How Russia will respond to such attacks is a matter of great curiosity. Although Moscow is trying to strengthen its air defense systems, Ukraine's drones can reach more distant points and hit critical targets. This shows that Russia is not completely safe even in its internal regions. If the Kremlin fails to develop an effective defense against this threat, Ukraine's strategic strikes could become increasingly damaging. What do you think at this point? How much can this Ukrainian strategy affect Russia's war capability? How do you think the Kremlin can respond to such attacks? Let us know in the comments. We read and care about your points of view.